welcome to Unapologetically You, an authentic journey to healing. This is the podcast that dives deep into the raw, real, and transformative process of embracing your true self. Join Jenny and Ashley as they share stories, insights, and practical wisdom, plus more than a few laughs and tears from their own lives so you can heal, grow, and live unapologetically. Whether you're on your own healing journey or simply seeking inspiration, this space is all about you embracing authenticity without fear or shame. It's time to make a move from a relationship to a relationship. Now, here are your hosts, Jenny and Ashley, who are proud to take this worthy journey right alongside you and are truly happy you're here.
All right, so we're back.
I sneeze. I feel, have you ever tried to hold a sneeze in?
Don't. It's awful. It's like an awful feeling.
Well, then at my age, if I hold a sneeze in, I'm peeing. So I really can't. But I have just being sick recently, I have just realized what an obnoxious sneezer I am. I am ejecting my entire innards out when I am sneezing. It is so ridiculous. And I'm like, you are like, Cece.
Like you learned a lot about yourself being sick.
Yeah, I did. And I'm like, God, if I was dating me and I was watching this person sneeze, I'd be like, really? Was that necessary?
So today we're going to talk about core needs and settling.
Yeah, I think that's a good, so people you've heard core values. So this is more core needs opposed to preferences. So when we say core needs, they are the things that you need in a relationship, your soul needs in a relationship. They help you to be able to reciprocate love back.
Yeah, and they really fill your cup.
Right. As opposed to a preference that you would like someone to have, but you could live without it if they didn't. So I think most people don't know the difference. And so we go back to, remember my list?
Yes.
I never really thought about what were my core needs on that list and what were my preferences. I think I made a list of preferences. And so sometimes you have to, and then you try and fill that list, right?
Right.
I want all of these things. But it's more like, what about just shortening it to the things that you know you need in order to feel loved and valued and respected?
Do you know when you're lacking that core need?
Yeah, so this has to do with relationships because our core needs in your career, our core needs with
Daily life
is different than it is in a relationship. So this is focused on your core needs within a relationship. And I think the first thing that you have to determine is sitting down and being like, okay, what are the things I need to feel fulfilled? Sometimes we don't know what those are until we have dated,
right,
been through relationships to realize, okay, they didn't fulfill me in that way. And I recognize that was something I really
needed.
I needed to feel loved. So
usually through hurt, I think you find your core needs a lot of times through heartbreak.
Yeah. So I think if you can look back at relationships, and maybe even if you're somebody that's been in one long-term relationship, just look back throughout that relationship or prior ones, and what do you experience that fulfills you? What do you feel like you're lacking? And then write those down to understand first, okay, here are the things that are, my non-negotiables. And I don't mean a non-negotiable in a way of they can't smoke, they can't do drugs, they can't party. Those are preferences.
They have to be tall. I mean, right.
Your non-negotiables for your soul, right?
Yeah.
Of how you want to be loved. Put it that way. My non-negotiables for how I want and need to be loved.
And to really listen to your soul and what your soul needs.
Yeah.
What they are until you're in a relationship, because relationships are our mirrors.
Lacking, and then you're
they
like,
can show us, right? Yeah. So it's lacking. At that point, though, you have a choice to talk about it with the person you're with. The important part is how it's received.
And then how you move forward. So if it's something that you feel that person is not giving you, that you need from them, you have to recognize and have that conversation with them. Are they capable of giving me that?
True.
Are they willing to give me that? Because sometimes you find that that person, they're not capable in loving you that way because it's not a core need of theirs. So it's not something recognizable to them or that they would feel that someone would need. So just because I have a core need to have communication, emotional intelligence, to have sympathy and someone that's empathetic and want to be loving and affectionate, just because those are some of mine, does not mean that someone else recognizes that and that that's one of theirs. Because here's the thing, your core needs, you can also reciprocate. So all the things that I need, I am 100% willing to give to someone else.
Same.
Right? That's you.
I have a core need to be able to give that to somebody else is very
Makes
natural and easy
fulfills
for me
you as
because
well.
I have that capacity.
Yes. And they
Create that
them-
emotional safety.
Yes. That means they're reciprocal of it.
Yeah.
Is that it?
Yeah.
And that they can give it back and that they can, again, mirror that.
Right.
If someone's lacking that, you can give and give and give, and they are never going to give it back, and that will not be fulfilling for you. It's fulfilling to give it, but it's also fulfilling to receive it.
Absolutely.
So that's kind of how you know. So you have to understand that, like, that person has to have some of the same core needs that you do. And if they don't, they're not going to magically appear.
Or there has to be awareness around the core need, because there can relate to this. I've been in a relationship with someone, and they will talk to me and say, hey, you know what? This really upsets me. I really need this from you. And then because of the awareness I have and the caring I would have for that person, I would alter that to try and fill that need. Our times we're able to fulfill it and have that awareness around it, even if it's not one of our core needs. But if it's something that's mentally taxing on you to do, then I agree. That's not in alignment at all.
Sometimes people will make the effort to accommodate your needs.
I've done that for people I've been in long-term relationships with.
How'd that work out?
Honestly, well, okay, so let me think back. So there's been times where it wasn't mentally taxing to me. It was just I wasn't aware that was their need.
Yeah.
So once I became aware of it, it wasn't hard for me to do.
And that's, I guess, what you have to differentiate between is it exhausting for me to do this? Because if it's exhausting for me to do this, I'm going to end up resenting
That's
you
misaligned.
that I have to do it. Yeah.
Yes.
If it's something like, okay, I love you enough that it's a need of yours that I will 100% understand. I don't need that. It's not something I'm great or familiar at, but I will try because I love it.
I do think you should discuss core needs. I think it's important
Yes.
to know, are you able to fill each other's core needs? And there's going to come, certain times where possibly, there might be some, how do I say it? Like, you might have to talk about it again. But ultimately, if you care about somebody and you're aligned, I think it should be easy.
I agree. And I think a good way, if you're, again, not certain of what your core needs are, these also would align with your love language.
Yes.
So there are, 5 love languages? And there's a book, 5 love languages. So a lot of the times our core needs fall under those love languages. And you can have more than one. So mine are words of affirmation. And I like the gift giving, not in a selfish, like, buy me things, but in a send me flowers, show me, not by acts of service. I don't need you to do things for me, but I need you, like, show up at my house unexpected just because you met, not in a creepy ass way. Don't do that. Please don't do that.
Oh, no.
Yeah, never mind. Scratch that. You know what I mean? Never mind. You know what I mean? Like
I do.
A surprise
When you care about
date,
it, yeah.
those things. So those are my 2 love languages. So there are things that fall under those that are core needs of mine and vulnerable. You need somebody that can reciprocate that back.
At 100%.
Because if they don't, you're giving again and you're not receiving. And that's going to get resentful at some, like if you're trying to give that up and say, but I love them for all of these other things, eventually you're going to start to be resentful. You're going to start to get upset. You're going to get disappointed. And now you're going to start reacting in a way to them based off of those negative feelings.
Yeah.
And that is then when you're not able to love in the way that God designed you to love. And I always say now, and this is what I pay attention to, and I said in my last relationship, I remember like toward the end of it, I had said, you don't allow me anymore to love the way that I need to love. So when someone takes that from me and I cannot naturally love in the way that I was designed to love, the relationship cannot move forward.
Right. No, right? It's stifling.
It's an awful feeling.
Yeah.
And if you're in a relationship like that where you feel that way, or dating, you've got to really look and say, is that the person that was designed for me?
Yes, I agree, because there is something to be said. You're right, with a relationship that's thriving and that feels free. You feel that sense of freedom within your relationship. And when you are not having those core needs met, it doesn't feel free. It feels stifling. It feels
like you are giving something, and because it's not being returned, it almost feels like someone's taking away from you. And we all know as humans, when we feel like someone is taking from us.
Right, or that level of disappointment.
Yeah.
Or at that point, it could be temporary, but if it's almost like a part of your soul is cut off.
Yeah.
That is when I think you do need to really revisit, is this right for me?
People always say...
The soul speaks. I mean, hands
100%.
down. And
what is ignited inside of us, and people have the ability to put out the fire in your soul, and you don't want those people in your life, and you don't want to allow them to do that.
It's allowing yourself to listen, though.
We look at couples that have been together for years, and there's always that you see it in movies, you see it in real life, like, God, how did you stay together for so long? How did you love each other for so long? And because there is inevitably going to be bad moments. If your core needs align, then you are willing to work with each other to have a successful relationship that lasts a long time, that even if that intense passion and fire isn't there all the time, that intense love is.
I agree with you.
And you do have more of the moments of the passion and the fire. Good times, bad times, that's all going to happen. But it is the willingness of both people wanting to come together to keep working to move forward with one another, because the option of not is an inconceivable thought to either one of them. And so the only way that I believe that that's successful is when both people have and love and receive and give in the same
That's what
way.
Makes your relationship stronger. And that's when tough times hit. I agree with you. If you're giving and receiving and you're both aligned, when those tough times hit, it's easier to get through them, because you do have those core needs.
Correct.
And you do know what that other person's need is.
Yes.
So number one, know yourself enough to know what your needs are. That's the first step.
Yeah.
Getting into a relationship, I already know what it is you do need.
I know what I need. I know what I require. I know what will keep me fulfilled. But most importantly, I know what allows me to love in the way that I want to love. And the one thing, no matter how much I like someone, no matter how attractive they are, no matter how many preferences they mark off on my list, if the core things are not there that allow me to love in the way I want, I know enough now, it is not going to move forward. No matter what I do.
Right.
No matter what I do, no matter what I decide to sacrifice. If I'm sacrificing one of the core needs, that relationship is never going to last very long. That our identities change through the years, and people do change.
But do our core needs really change?
Those don't. So if you don't align with those, essentially, so that as your identity changes, as your career changes, as time changes, as your age changes, as experience changes, those core needs do not. If you don't find somebody that matches those, yes, you're going to go in opposite directions.
But you don't even realize what a core need is until it's not being met, too.
Takes experience. Yeah.
So that's what also teaches you. So if you're in a relationship right now, pay attention to, are your core needs being met?
When we are children, right? I do believe that our main core needs of love develop when we are younger.
Yeah. Do you think our core needs, though, as adults, are what we lacked in childhood?
I think so. I think we always knew we needed them, but didn't receive
Correct.
them.
So then as adults, it's like, okay, this is what I need. So I you often, is it what you didn't get in childhood?
Sometimes it's what you know you
Or
needed.
is it what you're used to? Right. But how many times did you put yourself in relationships that were emotionally unsafe because that mirrored your childhood, right? So a lot of times the core needs we almost don't get met because we're mirroring what we had lacked in childhood. So we're still choosing the people that aren't filling those needs until
you're healed
from certain things. Now we're never fully healed, as we all know, but at least healed enough to be aware, like, this is my boundary, and
That's
going
the
down
thing
that road again. This is my need,
like, I'm not
and
to sacrifice that.
I'm not willing to give that up. So are you choosing partners who are reminding you of your childhood and what you didn't receive?
Of that is not something that we're familiar to. Even though we need it and crave it, we're scared of it. And so we're willing to sacrifice it. We're willing to sacrifice it.
Which is crazy.
Yeah, it is. So
because that is really where you're going to thrive and grow and be your best self when you allow yourself to really be fulfilled in that way.
Yeah, this is a non-negotiable for me.
So I'm in a relationship now. And as you know, I have talked many of times about not being supported in my career. Or anything. And I mean, this has been ongoing for years, all my relationships.
Finding partners that don't.
This person that I'm with is 100% supportive in that way. And I love that. I will say, though, prior to this relationship, I promised myself I would never, ever let somebody again in my life who wasn't at least supportive. Now, I understand. I want them to be honest with me. If they feel that there's something that maybe wouldn't be good for me in career, I'd want to hear their opinion. However, ultimately, I want that freedom to choose what I want to do. I didn't have that in my past. So the point I'm making, that was a non-negotiable for me. And I healed.
The non-negotiable wasn't the support me in my career. The non-negotiable was support me in my desires.
And that is a gift you give to yourself with setting those boundaries, what you won't tolerate.
Yes. And again, don't confuse. If you have not read the book 5 Love Languages, you don't even need to get the book. You could chat GPT it. You could look it up, whatever it means.
Yeah, I think now it's like everywhere.
Yeah. Figure out, know the 5 love languages. Figure out where you lie in those and what are the core needs under those. And again, do not confuse it with characteristics and preferences of their job, their looks, their deeper. So you kind of got to get vulnerable with yourself, which is hard for most people to do. But if you want to do this right, then
and pray about it.
Keep fucking around and find out.
Like, right, but I love what you said. I love what you said about God designs us in a way to love.
Oh, because we're all made so uniquely. So we all have a unique way of loving. And God gives you that gift in a way that somebody is made. And again, not just one person. There are many people in this world that are designed to reciprocate the way that you love. But God didn't design us to keep that stifled or to give that up. That is not what he'd want. And I'm loving that way. And if you're not the man that appreciates that in me, then you're not the man for that's something personal.
Oh no, agreed. 100%.
That's
maybe not the person God had created you to really partner with.
But we'll take it as rejection. And we'll think that we have to change those things about ourselves. And in all reality, it's just not the person whose core needs and love languages match yours. That's all that it is. So we don't have to take it personally or change those things about us because God intended us to love in a certain way.
100%. Are some takeaways the listeners can have to really make the relationship work or to know when it's time to walk away?
Before, or even if you're currently in a dating relationship, again, figure out your love languages, figure out your core needs, get vulnerable with yourself first, and understand what those are and what you are not going to give up, because they are things you need and able to love the way you want.
It's who you are.
It's who you are in your core, right? So understand what those are when you're in a relationship or getting into a relationship, and don't sit there and drag it out. Jenny and I were just talking about this. What you get in the first few months, that's the best it's going to be. No one, that's their best foot forward.
As time goes on, you really start to observe more of who somebody is.
Yeah. Recently, someone very close to me, their life changed in a blink of an eye. Literally, the blink of an eye. Life is so precious, and it is so short, and it is so, tomorrow, when people say tomorrow is not promised, it is not promised. So you should not waste 1 second of your life unhappy in a relationship, in a career, in family, in friendships. You don't get a do-over. You don't get extra time. We don't have all of this time to just figure it out a few years from now. If someone is in your life that is making you unhappy and they're not fulfilling you or allowing you to love the way you want, then get out of it, because you might not have the day after that to make that change.
Yeah.
And so I ask myself this every night before I go to bed. If I did not wake up this morning, will I die happy? Make some changes.
Yeah.
Because you are not guaranteed that you're going to wake up the next day, or that you're going to wake up and life is the same.
And what is it that makes you happy?
Ask yourself that question, and then start living your life in that way, like authentically. What we always say. And on our show, live your life unapologetically.
And what's important to you, don't let anybody take that away from you.
Ever.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
If you have a story you'd like to share, or if there's a specific topic you'd like us to cover on the podcast, we'd love to hear your ideas.
Get in touch with us through email or our social media pages, links below.